Better late than never. We got a brand new 555 for the Rocket Mortgage Classic up in Detroit, Michigan. Classic Donald Ross design. And we got you covered with everything you need to know with the 555 PGA podcast brought to you by the boys over at DFS Army. Let's go. What up, everybody? It's your boy DFS Up North, aka Josh Thomas, here with another PGA 555 podcast brought to you by the folks over at DFS Army. I give you 5 key narratives or stats, 5 of my favorite plays, and 5 low-owned GPP punts to help you out each week. Taking down some GPPs, and DraftKings has some great contests this week. They even have like the penny mini max. If you've never built on the DS before over at DFS Army, now is a great time to try. What's the DS, you ask? It's the domination station. It is our optimizer. I really think it's the best in the business. And if you are not a DFS Army VIP, you can use that code up north that gets you 10% off VIP monthly membership. Give it a try. You get in for now. You get in for the Open Championship. You get it all. Like I said, we give you my 5 key stats or narratives to watch for each week for the specific course. Then we talk about 5 of my favorite plays on DraftKings and FanDuel and 5 of my favorite low-owned GPP punts that help you take down a GPP. It is an interesting week this week. We get a weak field. We are now entering into, I said it in my notes this week, the Adam Schenk season, all right, of golf. This kind of dead period in between the last major. Travelers was an elevated event, whatever. But we get like a couple of weeks here now where some of these guys can really get back into the 125 of the FedEx Cup standings and retain their cards. Some of these career grinders, like this is their season. You've got this week, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. You got the John Deere Classic coming up. You got the 3M Open, which I mean, technically really should be the 5th major. You know me, Minnesota. But yeah, this is sort of that season where guys can rack up some FedEx Cup points. The studs aren't playing. There's paychecks to be had. So it is kind of a fun week, I think. The bottom tier can really secure their card. I said that's one of the key points this week. I actually saw somebody on Twitter say, or X, sorry, Elon, say that everybody should be priced at $8,333 this week, which means that you'd be able to salary, you could roster anyone, any combination. And I think that's an interesting way to look at lineups this week because it's true. I really think that anybody can win. It's weird that DraftKings again on the 4-day went down to $5,000 because those guys down there can absolutely play and win this week. We've seen Monday qualifiers win here. It's interesting this week. I'm excited. It's going to be a weird leaderboard, and you just need to sort of bake that into your model, bake that into how you're building lineups, how you're allocating your money, things like that. So Don Ross course, very, very classic Don Ross design. Wide fairways, big landing areas, not going to have a hard time hitting fairways, not really going to have a hard time hitting greens. Very point and shoot. The one defense that they have is all these greens are back to front tilted, which is a Don Ross staple. We've seen over the years here that bombers do pretty well. All right. The longer you can get it down there, whether it's fairway or rough, the rough is not going to be very penal. You are in better shape. We thought that, potentially this course could get a little bit tougher, but they just got a deluge of rain on Monday. And it's going to be, like I said, pretty much point and shoot. So you can hit it 300. Yeah, good with your irons. You can putt a little bit or have a spike putting week, which we've seen guys have here in the past because the greens are not that hard to read. And everything's either breaking right to left or left from which, I mean, I guess everything's, but there's not a lot of undulation that you're dealing with in the greens. It's just, you're putting on that slanted back to front tilt. You can get pretty low here. And like I said, you're going to have to get low. We're going to, Lil John -20 or better. And like I said, you hit it out there, you're gonna have a lot of wedges, not a lot of long iron shots. You're not looking at 200 plus in even on the par, or 250 in even on the par 5s. So this is a wedge week. All right, lots of wedges on this course. And then weak field, anybody can win. All right. So speaking of anybody can win, we are starting it off with my boy Minwoo Lee. So at the top of the leaderboard, you have guys like Minwoo, Tommy Kim, Cam Young, and Alex Noren. I am going with the lowest owned of those three. I should bring that up here. I'll see if I can get this going for you guys and see what our ownership projections say. But Min-Woo Lee is my guy this week. I think that he absolutely has the game to get it done here. Long off the tee, he's a lead around the greens, good iron player. Yeah, so we got Tom Kim, heavy, and then Noren, Young, and Min-Woo are kind of a coin flip between the three for ownership, but I'm going with Min-Woo this week. He's been playing some good golf. I like him quite a bit. I do think that he probably ends up being the lower owned, although maybe he'll get some steam on Twitter this week. I've seen a couple of guys touting him. But yeah, Min-Woo is my guy at the top here. If I was gonna, obviously we were on Tom Kim last week as a core play. I think he's elite again. I think the ownership's going to climb in some contests, especially like single entry. I think we see ownership climb towards 30%. I don't mind taking a little bit of a stand there and going with a guy like Min-Woo, who's got that big ceiling, but the floor is not super great. A guy with a good floor and a good ceiling is Steven Jagger this week. He's just been really consistent. I love the sort of tee to green game that he brings here. He does everything pretty well. He's been knocking on the door again. Obviously earlier this year, playing very, very well. So Jagger at 9,400, I think, is going to be fairly low owned in that sort of mid tier of plays, probably 16, 17, 18%. And then, Aaron Rai. He's top 10 here last year. It's been a while since he's been a core play for me, but I am going right back to Aaron Rai this week at 8,800. I think he's a cash lock. Just unreal consistency from Mr. Two Gloves this year. I skipped over Akshay, but Akshay and Taylor Pendrith, I thought it was interesting that last week we had them at the Travelers in the next page. So my 5 favorite GPP low on punts, and now they both played outstanding and get bumped up in not only price, but into some of my favorite play range. So Akshay is just going to keep riding that great play that he's had of late. He's long off the tee, good with his irons. If you can get that big long broom putter going, make some birdies here, he's going to be right in the mix. And then Pendrith, good history here, was second in his debut a couple of years ago, and a guy that's again he's just been striking the heck out of it, like just playing some really, really good golf. I love Pendrith this week. One of my favorite plays. I think he'll be somewhat popular. Let me see. Yeah, we got him at like plus 20%. I think him and Baccia. So, if you are looking to get funky in GPP, that you drop down, you're going to have to play guys that aren't playing very well right now. But obviously, long-term form, you look at a guy like Ricky Fowler, Will Zalatoris, maybe more so, both coming in at single-digit ownership right below Baccia and Pendrith. So both good options there if you're willing to stomach that the field is wrong, or you know what I mean, or that the field is potentially right, I guess, and that you're wrong. So for me, I think Pendrith and Bhatia are playing way too good of golf right now to really go off of them. So we're eating some chalk. Where do we go down here? Love Adam Svensson. He's been playing some outstanding golf as of late. Really just needs to get the putter going a little. If he can putt just a little bit, he's going to be right in the mix. All right. Matt Wallace has been playing great on the PGA Tour, went back, played great at the Cal Open, came over here and is returning to play a couple of events before the Open Championship. 7,400 should be fairly popular. Like him a lot, though. Lee Hodges, again, there's going to be a lot of window dressing this week, so I don't mention any of the young amateurs that are playing. So you got guys like Benjamin James. You got guys like the 16-year-old. I can't even remember his name. You've got who else? Man, there's a bunch of Neil Shipley, right? Bunch of these amateurs. Clanton, bunch of these amateurs that have been playing great world amateur wise. Like this is they're getting sponsor exemptions in here, which I do love. But people are going to get sucked into that narrative, especially like a guy like Shipley. I think we could see end up being pretty high owned. He did play well on the Canadian Tour, the Americas Tour last week. But so for me, I'm going to go with a proven tour guy at 7,100 and Lee Hodges, who just consistently makes cuts, makes a lot more sense to me. A guy that has been playing well that maybe won't get as owned is Yo Hisasuni. He is 6,900, right? Is that what we got him at? Yeah, we got him at like 6% owned. I like him quite a bit here. Just tons of upside, good value, been really good. Super cheap on FanDuel. That's one thing to look at too this week. Is I always like when we have the on DraftKings in our cheat sheets at DFS Army, that DK salary and FD salary are right next to each other, and we can sort of see like, hey, where is their value? Because there is some like big sore thumbs, especially on FanDuel this week, where a guy is way cheaper than another site. Jackson Koivin is another amateur, another stud amateur, second in the world amateur golf rankings. I will say that Benjamin James at dead minimum, guy who won his U.S. Open qualifier, made the cut at the U.S. Open. He does make some sense here. Especially if you're looking to smash some cheapy guys. All right. And then finally, oopsies, we went blank screen on it here. My boy Barracuda Bryce, another just pros pro, elite ball striker. Think that he can do really, really well here. Bryce Garnett at 5,900 on DraftKings, 78 on FanDuel, super cheap. He's going to make the cut. Maybe not going to contend, but at that price, I do think he makes quite a bit of sense. And I keep finding myself on guys like that in my lineup. So again, better late than never. I apologize. We had things going on this week in my family, doctor's appointments, things like that. So I wasn't able to get this out Tuesday. So I hope that you guys still like and are able to watch this. Cheers, everybody. Have a great Rocket Mortgage Classic. We're in Birdie Boy season, second tier fields, but there is still money to be made, and especially DK has some great contests out this week if you are interested in messing around with MMEing. So peace, everybody. Have a great week. Hope you guys win. Cheers.